Jackie Venson, welcome to Australian Musician.
Hey there, good to be here.
I spoke to you back in 2015 on a Zoom call. I don't know if you remember, but you'd only been playing guitar for 4 years, I think. You had a couple of EPs out, maybe an album. Uh,
I actually do remember that. I think my hair was up. I think that interview's still on YouTube. I think I had my hair up in a braid.
yeah,
That's so crazy. It's like a time machine.
yeah. Now you're such an accomplished guitarist. Your songwriting has developed so much that there must be a sense of pride in where you find yourself in 2023.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been a bumpy road, don't get me wrong, but it's cool to be here. I have to focus on whenever like we had bumps in the road like 2020, 2021. I just have to focus on the fact that like I still can do this. If I'm keeping my head above water, like we're okay. And it's just like it's really nice to know that the project that I built was able to kind of survive the weathering of what happens to us as a society.
Yeah, the pandemic was a terrible period for most musicians or most people, but you got real busy, didn't you?
I did. I found myself on the internet, and because the internet was the only place to be, and I kind of read the tea leaves of that, and I started streaming a lot, and people were home. The audience was all there. They were either home working from home or they were just home. You know, so it was a really great time to kind of get myself in front of a lot of people who I don't know if I would have otherwise reached.
Yeah. You've already released a 19-track album, Evolution of Joy, this year. And you're about to release another album, Ghost in the Machine, which
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of having a little listen to. Uh,
Yeah.
do you have time to do anything else? I mean, there's so much music coming out of you.
Well, I perform a lot during the summer. During the summer is when I am the busiest and I have absolutely no time for anything else except for touring and performing and then resting from touring and from performing. And so then the winter hits and it's usually like a brick wall. Everything just like stops because most of the United States becomes just very hostile for touring. The snow, the weather and a lot of the places that I play in the summer becomes completely unfeasible in the winter. And so I just have a lot of time between November, December, January, February. I'm usually only playing shows in Texas, and I just have all this time. And I usually I'm like a squirrel, I make all my money in the summer and then I hibernate in the winter. And that's why I collect all my acorns, and then so I don't really have to do a lot. And so I'm just around. So that's when I like to live stream. That's when I like to write. Usually I'm writing and then I'll live stream for an hour just to check in with people because they like the concert at home. And then I'll end the live stream and I'll go right back to writing. So it's just a lot of time in the winter, and I guess I just kind of work fast these days.
Yeah. Ghost in the Machine, the album coming out at the end of the month, is an epic album. Most of the songs have two parts from uh,
Yes.
what I gather in the way it's laid out. There's a song proper, then an outro. Where did
Yes.
that concept come from?
So it originally was born with and I'm a very big fan of hip hop music, hip hop and rap, especially from like the 90s and a lot of the stuff today, but the stuff that's not so mainstream. I really love like the underground rap. And what they do is they do segues. The song will end and then they'll do like a segue, almost like a skit sometimes. It'll be like dialogue with music tied in. And then that segue will lead into the next song. And what it is like the whole album is a story. And the lyrics of each track are a story, right? But then the in between is connecting the lyrics of that track to the lyrics of the next track. And it's amazing. Like some rap albums are like one rap album is like diary entries on existentialism. It's called Ready to Die by Biggie Smalls. It's incredible. And there's a lot of segues on there that kind of give you a peek into what his life is like. And so going from that, I've done segues for my albums before, but I didn't want to just do segues again because I've already done that. So this time I'm thinking, well, let's go to the music. Like, what's the music trying to say, right? And so then I would be listening to the tracks of the main tracks, the main songs, and I'd be like, these songs are really huge. Like, they have a lot of sections. They're very arranged, and whenever one ends and the next one starts, I feel like I haven't like had enough time to process the one that I just heard. Like if I were to just listen to Make Me Feel, right, and then immediately after Make Me Feel, listen to Surrender, I didn't have any time to process what happened on Make Me Feel before being launched into this next really big, very well arranged track. Do you know what I mean? And so the outros are like a cooling off period, like a time for you to, instead of focusing on the lyrics and the production of it all, focus on what the musical contents are, the chord progressions, the stuff, the decisions that musicians like to make. You know, like let's look at the deconstruction of the track. Let's look at it for it being not a song, but it being a musical piece.
Yeah. You were a piano player before you picked up the guitar. Did you play all the atmospheric keyboard parts on the album as well?
I did not. And that was actually what was an exciting approach for me. I've played piano on every single one of my records, I guess, except for Love Transcends. And it's because even though I could play the piano parts, I like other people's voices, you know, like somebody else who plays piano full time. Like I don't really play piano full time, even though I could, I don't. And so it's really cool hearing these songs through the lens of somebody else's ear, somebody else's skill, somebody else's experience. And so I actually, for the main tracks, I had Eddie Hobesall play the piano. And for the in between tracks, I had my new keyboard player, Brandon Morgan, who I did not know at the time of recording the tracks. So you're seeing me like meet a new bandmate and then kind of add him to the record last minute. So he's playing the outro keys.
Okay. Um, we're talking because you're coming to Australia, playing
Yeah.
Bluesfest next year. What do you know about Bluesfest?
I know that it is a really, really fun time. My a lot of my colleagues have played it and they told me that it was just a really great time and to drink a lot of coffee because you're going to not want to sleep. You're going to want to stay up and do things and see things and things are happening. They say it's like it's just happening, you know, like she's like be re-. My friend Cam tells me to just be ready. You're just going to be out and the time's just going to melt away. And then all of a sudden it's going to be 5 days and you're going to be like, I'm exhausted. And you're going to realize that you only slept like 3 hours each night. That's what she told me about it. Other people have told me that they've met people who became lifelong friends there. It was like a really great vibe for meeting new people that they would have never otherwise met. And so those kind of two reviews are really exciting for me. But then also I'm looking forward to the lineup. There's a lot of people who I personally have been a fan of for a while who are on the lineup. So I'm just excited to be able to be there for the entire thing, like all 5 days, you know?
Yeah. So how will you work out your set list? Will it be based around the Ghost in the Machine album?
So I have songs that I'll probably play every single set because they're just really popular and people literally get mad at me if I don't play them. Like they message me on Facebook after the set and they're like, you didn't play this song. That's actually happened to me. So I make sure to play the songs that people request the most. And that's usually like 4 or so songs in the set are like the same. I'll always play those 4 songs. And then I will change the rest of the set from set to set. So like I'll play like probably actually like 5 mainstays. And then the rest of the set will change depending on which set I'm playing. So all the sets will be just a little bit different.
Will you be playing solo or are you bringing other musicians with you?
I'll be playing with my drummer, Rodney. I have a duo outfit that sounds like a 6-piece band. I just uploaded a video to YouTube of us playing Always Free as a duo, and you can kind of get the vibe. It's a pretty huge sound. Yeah. But I'm thinking when I come back to Australia, I'd like to bring a 3-piece.
Okay. And how many guitars do you usually travel with?
I travel with 2.
Yeah.
2 and a little toolkit with a lot of strings in it.
One of those would be the Epiphone, the Les Paul.
So you would think, but actually I just signed a new guitar deal with this guitar company out of Carlsbad, California, which is a place outside of San Diego. They are called Iconic and they custom built me a guitar, pickups and everything, paint job and everything, like to my specs. And we just signed up together and they're making me a duplicate as we speak. So I'll be playing that guitar.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I saw a photo of you on Instagram from 2022 with Australian guitarist Tommy Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Also Samantha Fish and Keb Mo in Greece. I think you're on a blues cruise. Did you get to jam with Tommy?
I did. So he had so on the cruise ships, you have your main sets where you play like your set, right? But then they always have you do kind of like a little jam or something. Like they had me sit in with a few different bands on the jam sessions, and then Tommy Emmanuel got to lead his own songwriting circle, and he got to, I guess, curate like an acoustic thing where we would all do a song swap. And that was really, really cool. I got to play 3 of my songs. He played, I think, 4 of his songs. And then Samantha and Keb Mo also got to play 3 of their songs. And and then we had a big jam at the end. It was really awesome. I actually had a dream that happened like 9 years ago.
Wow.
Like 9 years ago, I was like really in the thick of it with the electric guitar. And I was like playing the electric guitar all the time. And I was feeling really good about where I was going with it. And then I had this dream that I was asked by Tommy Emmanuel to play the acoustic guitar. And I couldn't because I had never practiced it. You know, if you don't practice the acoustic guitar, you're not going to be very good at it. And because it's like a different feel and everything. So like I was like at a loss in the dream, and it was really embarrassing. So from that moment on, I started practicing the acoustic guitar. And then 9 years later, I'm on a cruise ship, and Tommy Emmanuel's like, "Your turn." And it was the craziest deja vu I've ever experienced, ever in my life.
Have you had any recent dreams with other artists involved?
No, I actually haven't. I did have a dream that involved Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix, but I don't think that's going to be coming true anytime soon. So unfortunately, you know, rest in peace.
So what happens for you between now and the time you get to Australia?
Well, I'm going on a tour up to the Midwest of the United States, like Wisconsin and Minnesota and Kansas and stuff. And then I'm going to be in that, you know, brick wall off period for about 4 months. But during that 4 months, I'm going to be doing a residency in January in Austin, Texas. Every Saturday, I'm going to play at Antone's, except for the final Saturday where I'm going to play at the Paramount Theater. Oh, wow. So I'm doing every Saturday in Austin, Texas in January.
What's the grand plan for Jackie Venson?
Well, the grand plan is Ghost in the Machine comes out on October 30th. And also YouTube and Facebook and all of that. I'm going to go so crazy on the revenue streams for that, because I've been making money off of YouTube and it's been so crazy. I don't know if you've heard, but you can make a lot of money on YouTube. And I am finding that out. So now I'm going into content overdrive. I've been like filming music videos for my next record, like next year, fall. I'm already filming stuff for that. Like I'm just going crazy on the content. I'm going to be streaming a lot in the winter because my online following really loves it when I do that. And also I make a lot of money off of Facebook when I do that. So like, I'm just really focusing on that being a revenue stream that I can actually depend on real money from, because it's looking like it's snowballing.
Yeah. Well, Jackie, it's been great to catch up again. And we look forward to seeing you down here very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you in real life.
Yeah.